I swear, man. To do what we do, you need like 8 of everything. Okay. What a waste of memory. I cannot wait till I RMA this crap. It is so annoying. It is entirely annoying. Whatever, man. Whatever. Okay. Let me make sure. Give me one quick second here. And I'll continue complaining. just making sure everything is good. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that looks good. I think that looks good. I think. Let's see here. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, whatever. Just making sure everything is good here. That looks good. And minimize. And let's go ahead and do the other one. Okay, I think everybody else is okay, and I think everybody can hear me. Okay, I'm so sorry. I don't know. Okay, so I was having an issue with stuttering, micro stuttering in video games on this computer once I got done with the stream yesterday. So I was starting to troubleshoot it, and in troubleshooting it, I swapped out the RAM thinking that the RAM was a problem, and that actually did resolve it to a certain extent, but it appears that this RAM here, both sticks are actually bad. And these were not overclocked. These were just at the regular speeds, but I think both of these sticks are just trash right now. So yeah, I already got an RMA in place, but they have to call me so I can actually ship it to them. But yeah, I'm done. Like, I'm the type of person, is once you mess up on me once, I don't want to have anything to do with you. So with that RAM right there, you mess up on me and you mess up my whole stream, like from the beginning, like I'm done. So yeah, I guess tomorrow I got to stop being cheap and buy some replacement RAM. And let this RMA, and then I'll have just more RAM whenever it comes in, because I can't do that. That's crazy. That's tacky. So, you know, if it was vMix, it would have killed everything and I wouldn't have been able to do anything, and it would have froze my computer. So it would have been game over. So yeah, I can't let that happen. Okay, but in any event, we were talking about Elden Ring. So the Elden Ring has a new DLC. Of course, all of the From Software games have had DLC that I can remember. Did Sekiro have DLC? Maybe not Sekiro, but the most of them did. So, you know, that's definitely From Software's MO. And their DLCs have always been great. But me personally, once I beat the game, it's rare that I ever go back. Especially, I don't know if I would ever go back for like Sekiro. Like, that's just like some of them bosses, man. I was just like, look, I can't block. I can only dodge. Like, I'm done. But yeah, there's one more here that I had. Let's get switched to work here. And this is Final Fantasy 16 Battle of the Bandicta or something like that. I'll make sure that everybody can hear this first. It is kind of long, so please bear with me here, but let's see what it says.
I confess I expected more from the old man. And less from you. This is the second time you've bested my sisters. Men of your talents are rare indeed. Why cost your lot with such undesirables? If it is the hearth you long for, you will find more than enough warmth under my wings.
You know exactly what I want. Hand over the dominant, and I'll leave you in peace.
You would dare to make demands of me. Know your place, little lamb. Fool is the shepherd who heeds every bleat of the flock. And I will suffer yours no longer. Must I spell it out for you, Branded? No one is listening. No one at all! Ah! Come, little lamb, to the slaughter with you.
One v1? He's been leveling on chocobos.
Won't ask again.
Garuda. No, not cinematic. Go ahead. Please, no.
Dodge this.
Aroga to the face.
Fucking dumb. Cry all you like. There's no one to save you now.
Yo, she flew in the air 2 more times. He's selling from God of War. This stagger damage is nice. Oh, okay. So he's summoning parts of summons.
Time to join my pet.
Should have summoned remove, man. He summoned the wrong Titan.
Stay down.
It's God of War. It's God of War. He's a little slow for a Valkyrie, though. Dang.
Shit.
You better get up. She killed your dog. Oh, there he is. It's God of War and boy all over again. You dare judge me?
That'll help.
And there's no way the Queen Valkyrie would sit there and let you beat up on her like that. This is madness. What did I just watch? That looked way harder than a Final Fantasy game.
You are but a branded. How? How did you do it? How did you even survive? How?
The answer is simple, Benedicta. He was fighting for something he believed in.
Shut up! Why aren't you dead?
We've played your games. Now tell me where he is.
Who? What are you?
A knight?
Why?
Do you just take Garuda? That was okay. Okay. That was the fastest 11 minutes ever. What a fight. Okay, that's I don't even know what to say about that. That is wild. Okay. It felt like a Valkyrie fight. It's just that Valkyries are harder than that. But it lasted like a Valkyrie fight. Like generally your Valkyrie fights are like what, like 10, 20 minutes, depending on who you fighting. Like if you're fighting like the Queen Valkyrie or something like that, or when they like have two of them, then it's a little harder. But at the same time, it felt like a Valkyrie fight. You know, she had a ton of health and he didn't do a whole lot of damage until he went into God of War, Kratos mode, enraged mode or whatever. But I mean, I like it. I thought it was excellent. You know, I mean, hey, if we can't get another God of War game, I'll take a Final Fantasy for 200, Bob. I'm just saying that looked pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I thought that was pretty good. It's different. It's a little. It takes away a little bit from you know me hanging with the homies is basically just a man and his dog, but it appears that you still have summons in a similar way. Well, I guess not necessarily in a similar way, because you would just summon them and they would just do an attack. Now you can summon parts of them, and it appears that at this particular moment in time, the only part that he had was Titan, and then he had his own like breakthrough. So, you know, some of her attacks felt like the Garuda from the MMO. So I thought that was kind of interesting as well. So, hey, you know, props out to Final Fantasy. You know, I'm just going to go ahead and pre-order because I've played every Final Fantasy game since 10. Even the one with the girls in, what was it, 12-3? I even played that one. I don't know if I beat it. I can't remember. But I played that one too. So yeah, and that was just basically a singing competition. But shout out to Final Fantasy. That was really good. Okay, I'm ready. Let's help some people here. So, okay, let me make sure everything is popping here. Make sure everything is good. I think everything is fine. Make sure that everything is good here. Yeah, everything looks good. Let me just minimize. Okay, sorry about everything going cray-cray earlier, but we're good now. I think we're good. So we'll just go ahead and get started here. Alrighty, this is from Micro Warrior, and Micro Warrior says, I am told to sign in with the account that bought the game or renew subscription, but both are not the problem. Oh, solved. Okay, cool. A lot of my games that are from Game Pass are telling me to renew the subscription. Okay, we were telling him on this one here that he would have to get in contact with Microsoft, and he said he'll try a few things, and he said, okay, well, best thing you can do is to try from a computer or remote play to see if that fails as well. More than likely, though, you need to open a ticket with Xbox. Thanks for your help, but I managed to fix it by restarting my Wi-Fi? What? None of my games that are from Game Pass are telling me to renew my subscription. By restarting his Wi-Fi. Well, that's interesting. Okay. Okay. Well, that's good to know. Happy you got it resolved, bro. Okay, well, I mean, I don't, so, okay, so if we run into this issue again, it's probably in our better interest to tell them to go ahead and restart their router just to make sure that it's not a networking issue. However, if he had gone to his Microsoft account, he would have realized that everything was probably still working if he would have went to another computer. So, you know, on that one there, I'll take the assist trophy, but, you know, I'll add that to our list of things to troubleshoot whenever we get these. We get these from time to time, the whole accounting issue, but we'll see how it goes in the future. But that's good information. We'll make sure we jump to that and add that as a troubleshooting step next time we get one of those. Okay, live it rip. Oh, let me fix something real quick here. Now that it's on my mind, live it rip writes. You know what? Don't worry about it. I'm not gonna worry about it. So a little bit ago, I made a post about a PC I bought for a friend. What I was thinking about is my, because of what happened with my memory and y'all being able to see it mess up, like memory live time troubleshooting. And what happened with my memory, I had to close and reopen. And when I closed and reopened, it closed the stream. Therefore, I couldn't do anything. So I should have just kept the stream going and then stopped it and restarted. But if I would have done that, there would have been a gigantic gap while I tried to get everything back. So yeah, it was just a pain. So that's what I was thinking about. I wanted to go ahead and make them private so they don't actually be in my channel, but I'm not worried about it. It's okay. So a little bit ago, I made a post about a PC I bought for a friend. The PC would remain on switch, but at seemingly random times, the monitor would turn off and sound would cut off. Okay, we worked this issue and we had a few questions for him. So let's see here. Alrighty, so what happens if he swaps his input? If it's display, try HDMI. If it's HDMI, try display and see if it makes a difference. And what are the specs of the PC? And finally, have you checked or a driver update? If so, then try to install the earlier version, say a few months back, and see if that makes a difference. Also, is it possible that you may have HDR turned on? If so, you could turn it off to see if it makes a difference. I remember this. This was the one that we got right after the HDR issue that ended up being a problem previously. So it cued us to ask him about HDR. So drivers are up to date. That was the first thing I had him try. I'll have him see if going to an earlier version might help. We also played around with different settings, HDMI display, even had him try a TV just to see if that mattered, and he still had the issue. Haven't tried the HDR idea yet. Also have him try that. Thank you for the suggestions. Cool. We're not done. Don't you leave us. Okay, let's read this one more time. So a little bit ago, I made a post about a PC I bought for a friend. The PC would remain on, but at seemingly random times, the monitor would turn off and sound would cut off. It would all still be active though, as we could hear him in voice chat and he could still control the game, even if he could not see. Like if we were playing Overwatch 2, he could still move. I remember this, okay. A new discovery though has happened. If he would just be idling around, like watching YouTube or something, the problem would happen. But it never happened if he was playing The Witcher. He then discovered if he just left The Witcher playing in the background and went about doing the same things, YouTube random browsing, it would not happen. I cannot for the life of me make heads or tails of why. Okay, and so we were telling him to try HDR. It appears that that's the only one he has left. At that point, we'll be looking at reseating graphics cards and trying different updates. So we'll leave him to his devices because he has two different options. One, try an earlier version of his driver as well as the turn off HDR. So keep us posted. Keep us posted. We see replies. Does he know this? Advanced power, advanced blah 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 blah. We see replies, so we will pick. So we see replies pretty quickly. Keep us posted. No, I'd say keep us posted. That's fine. Keep us posted and let us know if the remaining two options helped. Thanks. Yeah, we'll just go with that. Just something nice and easy. You could say go ahead and reseat the graphics card, but at that point, you know, we're already kind of on the next steps. We really want to know about this whole HDR situation. We really want to know about going to an earlier driver. As we've found, sometimes drivers can be a pain. So we really need to know this before we can move on. So yeah, we'll just go ahead and wait on him and see what he says and then kind of go from there. PSA, check under the ooh. Oh, my poor EVGA. Jesus. Yep. Apparently, he had his computer on the beach. And this is what happens when you put your computer on the beach. Apparently your graphics card just has the time of its life because one, it looks like you just put sand on it because there's no dust on the actual fins. I know what a dirty graphics card looks like, sir. I have 80 of them behind me. They all don't look like that. They have some dust on the fins. Obviously, this is just somebody removing your shroud and putting dirt over it, but I get the meaning. Okay. Cute, but you can't fool our eyes. But you can't fool our eyes. You can't fool us. We can tell by the lack of dust between the fins. We can tell by the lack of dust between the fins that you just poured dirt over a GPU shroud and took a picture. You haven't seen real dirty, sir. So yeah, we'll go with that. But yeah, this definitely looks like it. I mean, you look at the fins. I mean, these things are pristine. I mean, there's no way you can pick up that much dirt and the fins be that pristine. So I mean, obviously, this is. Come on now. I've looked at too many bad looking graphics cards to know that that's not real. But I mean, it's still pretty cool though. So I'll give you that. Xbox One receives no power. Oh my God, why did he take it apart? I bought a faulty I bought a faulty Xbox off of eBay, and when plugged in, I get no light, noise, or anything. I know the power brick isn't the issue since I tested it with my known working Xbox and it works fine. I would love answers. What am I supposed to say to this? Man, I am not an electrician. What? Have you tried power cycling it? I don't think anybody can help you on this one, bro. It is the issue. I don't know if anybody can notice this without testing voltages and stuff like that. Like, I don't know if anybody can help you on this one, sir. Okay, finally, someone has stumped me because there's not a whole lot anyone can do. Just by looking, I don't see any burn marks. I don't see any burn spots or anything like that. Everything looks relatively pristine. So I don't know, where you would need to check on that because I would never take apart an Xbox. I just RMA. So RMA. But in all seriousness, I don't see any burn marks or damages anywhere. So more than likely, you would need to test voltages to see where the power failure is located. Failure is located on the motherboard. I mean, that's the next step. If you really want to know what's the next step, that's the next step. If you okay, maybe I do know this. All right, so I used to troubleshoot for dentist office. So like panoramic machines, you know, those machines that kind of go around your face and take pictures of your mouth. And we had to go to a training class. It was like with Kodak. Yeah, I think it was Kodak. And we had to go to a training class, and you had to know the actual voltages and the potentiometer and all that kind of stuff. And you had to know the voltages of each individual capacitor or no, capacitor. I don't remember. It's been a while. You had to know the voltages of every single part of the machine. So you know when it was acting up, if it went over a certain voltage, it can be a problem. It can overheat and cause damage to the motherboard, yada, yada, yada. So we had to do that, and we had to do it on the fly, and we had to learn. And it was basically, I got the job, and then like 2 months later, I was already in the training. Most people, you know, they go on the road and they work with a few panels before they actually get the job. Me, they just sent me right to the training. So because they needed somebody to actually work it, I ended up passing it by like the skin of my teeth and ended up getting the training. But I hated that job. That job was awful because I had to, it wasn't Kodak's fault. I want to make that clear. It had nothing to do with Kodak. Kodak was just the one with the certification. I didn't like the job because it made me travel in traffic. And then you get to a site, and depending on, you know, what may happen, who's upset, who's not upset, it puts you in a real bad spot because you're trying to troubleshoot and trying to fix something, and people may not allow you to, or, you know, they try to pull rank, and it was awful. It was awful. But the fact still remains that I remember working that, and you have to make sure that you hit certain voltages. And if he's having a power issue, then he has to go to each of them and make sure along the path of the voltage to get to the CPU that some of them are not are hitting the right voltages. So obviously here he probably is going to end up having something wrong with his motherboard, but I'm not sure if he's going to be able to fix it. And if he's asking questions like that, I don't think he has a chance. So that's my little 2 cents on it, you know. But hey, to each his own. I mean, you know, he can have fun with it, but I don't know if he's going to be able to actually troubleshoot this one here, if those are the questions that he's asking, because that would be the next step. But yeah, I don't know if anyone could help you on this one, bro. I'm so sorry. But I'll let you know. His name is Individual Loss. That's a very fitting name because this is about to be an L right here. But I'm guessing he probably didn't pay too much. Okay, Noller Real. Okay, Noller Real. Okay. Screen goes black and shows weird graphical pieces when playing Warzone 2. You know, okay, is it Call of Duty Warzone 2.0 or is it Call of Duty Modern Warfare Warzone? I always wondered that because it used to have one name and then you bought it and then it changed to Warzone 2.0, and I don't know why, but I was too lazy to try to figure out why. I just kind of let it happen and just move on. I was like, okay, it's the same game. Okay, I'll just continue playing. But so Warzone 2 likes to crash a lot on my PC. Typically I verify game files and it's good for another day or so. This time it did its normal daily crash complaining about DirectX, and I verified it like normal. Soon after, 15 minutes back in another match, my screens went black, but some of the vibrant colors on the screen remain looking like a graphical card issue. It's seated correctly and it's not even hot. Average playing 50 degrees Celsius. Any ideas? Yep, I just had it. This is the issue that I had yesterday that caused me to swap out the RAM in the first place, which led to the issue that we currently just had earlier where my screen was kind of going in and out, and you guys saw it too. But this is what happened. And the reason why it happened like that is because I was overclocking my memory. I had it set to 6K and I ran, and what's crazy, okay, we back to me. Okay, and what's crazy is that I ran Cinebench maybe for an hour. Okay, I mean, I'm talking about consistent. I think you can do 30 minutes or something like that. So I did 30 minutes and then I came back and I did it again just to make sure, right? Because I didn't want to make sure we had any problems while doing a live stream. So I did that multiple times. Memory was fine. Everything was fine. I was hitting the right numbers for a 7850X. Everything was cool, right? So I was thinking everything was good. Then I tried Premiere Pro. Premiere Pro was okay. It did as best as it could with 32 gigs of RAM. You know what I mean? I couldn't do any live playback because I didn't have enough RAM, but I was able to struggle by or get by and make the video, which I launched earlier today, right? So I was able to try. So then I tried Photoshop. Photoshop was okay. And then I was like, okay, cool. Let's go ahead and try the stream. And then that happened, right? So with the whole tiling and all the breakthroughs. And so now I know not to mess with like this right here. I'm going to buy another pack of it, but the only reason why I'm buying a pack of it is because I'm going to RMA this and then I'll have 128 when it comes back. But yeah, the reason why I was getting those black screens is because I was overclocking to 6,000 megahertz on the 7850X, and I ended up having to remove my overclock, and that fixed the issue. So we're going to start with RAM on him because, I mean, I just had the same issue. So yeah, just had this issue yesterday. So what? Okay, I'll say I here, but only because I said, yeah, I had this issue yesterday. But normally, you know, we kind of do we around here. So yeah, just had this issue yesterday. So what I ended up doing was removing my XMP profile. And that seemed to do the trick. I'm telling him the same thing because he has a 5800X, which means that he probably has XMP profile turned on as well. So what I ended up doing was removing my XMP profile, and that seemed to do the trick. I would say try this first as it's the easiest. Okay, and then after that, also I would try connected via a riser cable. Never had an issue with other games. Could it be the riser cable? Yes. Would it manifest itself in video games? Maybe. But troubleshooting a riser issue is very, very painful because riser issues is either going to be all or nothing. So, well, usually it's all or nothing because you may boot it up and may not even show you a picture, but sometimes it can just start to degrade. So that's a possibility too, but it's usually kind of an all or nothing thing with riser. So we'll leave that as the last option and we'll just go with this here. Also, I would try to update. Did he already say he tried to update the drivers? No, so we'll say it. Also, I would try to update the drivers of the 3070 to see if it makes a difference. Also, if you play in widescreen, try window. Widescreen, oh my God. If you play in full screen, try windowed and vice versa to see if it helps. All right, we'll give them 3 options and we'll have them try those and then get back with us. So yeah, try the RAM, remove the XMP profile. I feel like this may have a lot to do with it. That whole black screen thing and then the issue we had earlier with it messing up on me. I think that those are going to be memory related, especially when it starts to tile on video, which is what it did with us. So we'll go with the memory thing and then we'll go with the 3070 drivers and we'll go with full screen versus windowed and see if that helps. Keep us posted, Nolar. We're very, very adept when it comes to Warzone 2. That happens a lot. We have a bunch of Warzone issues. Alrighty, so this is from Ghostain. Shadowplay causing all DX12 games to crash within 3 to 5 minutes. Okay, I remember this. This was the Shadowplay, and he had the same gear we had, right? He had the 7700X, and we have a 7900X. This guy. But I haven't actually opened it up yet or set it up yet, but we had a similar build. So he has a 3080 Ti, I have a 3090. He has 32 gigs of RAM, I have 32 gigs of RAM. He has the EVGA 1000 watt. I have 850, but that won't matter. So, and we've been going back and forth, but he be making these really long paragraphs. Okay, here we go with another long paragraph. All right, let's compare. What are your settings? So basically, we were talking about Shadowplay, right? So we pulled this up in Windows 11, which is here and here. And so when we pulled this up in Windows 11, we were talking about Shadowplay in general. And we were like, okay, well, what are your settings here? So basically what he's saying is whenever he has GeForce Experience running, just running, doesn't matter if it's recording or anything, that's when he runs into the issue. And so we were like, okay, well, we're going to need to know what your settings are here. And I was telling him to go ahead and change it from high to low, change the resolution from in-game to something like 720p HD, and then the frame rate, have it go to 30, and then lower the bit rate to like 20 to 30 and see what happens. So that's what we kind of gave him options to do. And let's see what he said on that here. So I did leave this part out, but I did set the game to 1080p and low settings last week, and I did not get a crash. Okay, good information. But it seems to stutter more than usual. I'm okay with that. I seem to get better performance without overlay max settings than I do at 1080p low settings. I see to get better performance without overlay at max settings than I do at 1080p low settings. And overlay on. When I did this test, I left bitrate values at default high, which is 50. Yep. It was 50, right? That's what we had. Windows 11. Yes, 50. Which is 50, right? I also left FPS at 60. I do not record all the time. I mainly just use the instant capture feature to set it to 10 minutes. I had like 40 bitrate, 60 FPS at 10 minutes on my last PC, and it was just fine. I do have, oh God, Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I did it, but I did not have it installed, so I installed it. And yes, at about the 5-minute mark, I get the DXGI error device hung with DX12. I recreated this a second time in a different area of the game at the 5-minute mark and crashed again. That was the first thing that I did before actually installing Windows, which was installing the F6 BIOS, which was the latest BIOS from Gigabyte. Okay, so I had the latest BIOS when I installed, but F7B was released on the 21st. Should I update again and give it a shot? Yes. I heard if BIOS updates in a letter, it's not the final version or potentially buggy. We have another option. And just in case, went back into Shadow of the Tomb Raider, some maxed out settings, everything, but with no overlay, and bam, no crashes, lasted 15 minutes until I manually quit the game. But I honestly stopped because I only have so much time during the week to play and wanted to get back to the game I was playing on my Steam deck. But this is my experience with literally any DX12 game. Overlay on equals crash. Overlay off equals no crash. I can consistently get the same results within 3 to 5 minutes. Bizarre, I even found this to be the issue at all. But I have spare Windows 10 keys. I may just go back and see what happened, since as a whole, Windows 10 seems to be a bit more stable, and I know my last PC had no issues at all, but I'll only do it as a last resort, as this seems to be like a Windows 11 issue more than anything. Updates BIOS, install GPU driver that released today, some old crashed. Same old crash. I'm probably just going to go with Windows 10 and hope it fixes it. My GPU and Windows 10 had no issues on my build, so it can't hurt anything to go back. Okay. Well, this sounds like a memory issue. For now, before you update the BIOS, try to remove the XMP profile from the RAM to see if it makes a difference. We know with XMP on whatever settings, you can't go further than 10 minutes. So we will call that our stopping point. Try any DX12 game with XMP off and see if it makes a difference. Yeah, it sounds like a memory issue, bro. The reason why I say memory issue is because he said he tried a 1080p and he got the same issue, but he's running a 5800X and a 3070, which means that he should be able to run 1080p at 60 frames per second, no problem. So if that's the case, and he should be able to run it, he should also be able to run it and record it with the settings and the gear that he has. So knowing this and knowing that he has more than enough gear to run that at 1080p leads me to believe that he's probably having a memory issue, which makes sense because he only has the problem in game. And what does games do? They load to your RAM. So and then on top of that, whenever you're recording, it's trying to put that in cache before it records it to the drive. So I think that you may actually have an issue with your memory, and it may be masking itself as a graphics issue when it's not. So this is like the second time we've run into this today, third if you include myself. So yeah, I think that this is going to be a memory issue here on this one here. So yeah, we'll just call it at that, and then we'll continue on. Alrighty, Ghost Stain. Yeah, that's what I say on this. I would say, you can do the BIOS update after. Oh, we should probably tell him that. Before you update the BIOS. Okay, I already said it. Okay, just making sure that I said before you update the BIOS. All right, bet. Alrighty, give me 1 second here. Let me check something really quick. Okay, well, all right then. We'll just go. Alrighty, so this is from Salty Toxic Ninja. I like the name. All right, so Salty Toxic Ninja writes, Xbox Series X keeps reinstalling. Xbox Series X? No, right here. Too many controllers near me. Okay, I installed Fortnite for the new chapter, realized it's still bad. And uninstalled it. At least that's what I thought. But now every time I turn on my Xbox, it's magically there again. I've tried restarting my Xbox factory reset, keeping games to no avail. Any help would be useful. By the way, I got the Series X on Christmas, if that helps. Maybe, I guess. I don't think it helps, but you know, it's kind of good information, I guess. So he said that even when he deletes it, it's still there, right? So, oh, let's try this. So view contents. I think I actually have it. Okay. So he says, even when he deletes it, it's still there. So let's do this here. So if we go to a game and uninstall, try to uninstall a different game to see if it actually goes away. Preferably one that he can download relatively easily. So, you know, that way there's no bandwidth charges in case he's in an area that charges you for bandwidth. So we'll go with that. And where were we? How did we get here? It was system. Okay. System general. No, it's not system general. System storage devices. Okay. Well, he knows how to get there. So for this one, work, could you try to go back to the storage and uninstall a different game or app? Well, just say game. Just keep it with games. Let's not say application, because it can be that whole YouTube weird thing that other guy had. So we'll just go with a different game. Try and uninstall a different game to see if that gets removed as well. It sounds like it's having problems trying to remove or modify anything on the drive, or the drive may be corrupted. So if it's corrupted, then that's a pretty good possibility that if he tries to uninstall a different game, it'll give him the exact same result. So for this one, could you try to go back to the storage and uninstall a different game to see if that gets removed as well? Also, when you reloaded the Xbox and saw that it was still there, were you actually able to play the game? After, okay, make sure I put this in parentheses, after the uninstall was clicked, I mean. So the reason why we want to know this is because if the drive is corrupted and it's unable to remove it, then it also may have an issue with read-write after the uninstall. So it's a possibility that the game itself is there, but it's not really there. So whenever you try to play the game, it should crash. At least that's my thought process, at least. So we'll see how that goes and see what they replied with. But that's what I'm thinking here. I'm either thinking that your drive may be corrupted, or the file itself may be corrupted, or something is going on with the drive. But that's kind of what it sounds like here. But keep us posted, Mr. Ninja, and we'll take a look at it tomorrow. Okay, optimal objective. Skybug. Oh, okay, I remember him. So this is another guy that likes to stare at the night sky, showing us shapes and squares and stuff that we can barely see. So all of his pictures look like that. You're not missing anything. So we said, so with this few questions, does the shapes change when lowering the resolution or frame rate? Does this happen if you look at other objects that is in the sky? So I downloaded the PC version of how it works on my PC, and it has the same issue. So it looks like a game issue more than anything. I was just surprised that people didn't report it or even notice it. I'm not. Man, I played Hogwarts for what, a few hours? Not once did I think of looking at the night sky. I mean, it's not on my things to do. I'm just saying. I'm trying to learn all the spells, man. I'm not worried about what the sky looked like and if there's shapes in it. But I get you. Here this is from the PC version. Cyberpunk, on the other hand, doesn't have the same problem on PC. I'm now mostly sure that Cyberpunk just has different sets of graphical issues on Series X compared to PC. So here is Hogwarts PC version with that exact same issue that I have on my Series X. My PC is old though, so it is running 30 FPS. That's fine. Still haven't tried performance mode on the Series X and never played it at 60 frames per second on PC either, but it is in 4K. Here's the PC version with the exact same problem in 4K, about 30 or more frames. Okay, again, this happens the same way it does on the Series X, where the artifacts appear when you move your character alongside a dark screen or a cloud like so. I had to capture it with my phone quickly as I stopped moving, and the artifacts trail by the character like so. This artifact trails by when turning left, right, up, or down, when having the character beside me, dark sky or clouds. This better be a picture. Okay. Okay. All of that to show me a picture of a rectangle. No, I get it. I mean, yeah, it appears that there's some artifacts in the game. Seeing the fact that you have the issue on the Xbox and the PC, you know, it's just kind of one of those things. Yeah. Yeah, it just looks like some artifacts in the game. I would just call it a magical glitch. A magical glitch gone wrong, and move on with my classroom activities. So Hogwarts Legacy, it takes place in a dorm room. That's where the joke comes from. But yeah, there's nothing we can do on this, man. I mean, you know, it's a square and a rectangle. That's what you've shown us so far, and I get it. It's a little frustrating, but that's not a whole lot more we can do here. You know, if it's on the Xbox and the Xbox seems to be your strongest console, then, you know, I mean, I don't have it on the Xbox, so I can't test. He did say it's on the PC, and I have Hogwarts Legacy, but I don't have a night like where I'm at. I'm still in the dorms, so I actually haven't had a chance to go outside when it's nighttime, so I won't be able to see this anyway. So yeah. Okay, well, we'll just move on then. OBS, hey, an OBS issue. Oh, what a relief. I haven't had an OBS issue in forever. Well, okay, I've had OBS issues. Obviously, that's a lot because we just had an OBS issue 20 minutes ago. I'm saying nobody has asked me an OBS issue in a very long time. My OBS camera don't work. Okay, the only thing I see is OBS logo when I turn it on Discord. OBS? Okay, it's an OBS-based camera, but he's not having problems with OBS. My OBS camera won't work. The only thing I see is OBS logo when I turn it on Discord. Okay, okay. So that typically means it may be having issues with connectivity or resolution. So I would start with this. Make sure the camera is connected to a USB 3 port. If it already is, try moving it to a front USB 3 port to see if it makes a difference. Also, for the resolution part, could you check to see if there is any OBS camera? Is there such thing as an OBS camera? I feel like that's not a thing. Oh shit, I guess. Oh, it's not a thing. Is he talking about OBS virtual cam? Like OBS doesn't have cameras. Okay, I was assuming, okay, OBS.camera. But camera for OBS, but he's using his phone. You see what I'm saying? Like OBS doesn't have cameras. I'm not tripping. For the resolution part, could you check this? What do you mean by OBS camera? What do you mean by OBS camera? What do you mean by OBS camera? Is this your phone connecting to an OBS app that you are referring to? But for the issue itself, okay, so that typically means it may be having issues with connectivity or resolution. For the resolution part, could you check to see if there is an application or if there is software you could download to let you test the camera outside of what is it? What was he using it? Discord. Like OBS, for example. Like OBS, for example. Yeah. So with this one here, so essentially what you want to do whenever you okay. Let me make sure I explain this properly because it's starting to sound a little cray-cray. Whenever you have issues with cameras and you're doing a live stream, Twitter, Twitch, whatever, and you're having issues with cameras, okay? Let's say you're doing it on OBS or vMix or whatever tickles your fancy, bro. So OBS, whatever. If you're having issues and your camera is not seen in that particular application, you want to test it outside of that application because you need proof. Because if not, you're going to be sitting here playing with your settings in OBS. You may mess up your whole stream because you're trying to figure out what's going on. So what you want to do is whichever application you're trying to use that application in, back out. So close out the application. Of course, unless you're doing a live stream, then continue doing it. It's just that it won't be able to see your face, but continue with your live stream at that point. But or if we're talking about you just troubleshooting an issue and you're not live, then you just want to close out of that application and open the camera a different way. So if it's Windows, just search for camera and see if it shows a picture with the camera Windows app, right? So if we go to, I guess we're doing everything on Windows 11 today. So if we go to Windows 11 here and we click on the X and get out of there and we just hit camera, right? If it takes it. What is happening today? Okay, right. So there's a camera app here, right? So you can use the camera app. If we're talking Macs, where is my Mac? Right here. No, that's not the Mac. If we're talking Macs, it also has the exact same feature. I'm not going to show you because it connects to your other devices, but you can either do the FaceTime feature or you can do a Windows logo spacebar and then type camera. So you can just use your camera that way, or camera options. So basically, you can either do it through the FaceTime feature, or you can do it through the camera options, or you can try to just open up a call and then just check it there. So there's a couple different ways you can do it from the Mac perspective, but regardless if it's Windows or if it's Mac, you just want to open it in a different application that isn't the one that's failing. Does that make sense? Because if you open it in a different application and you still have issues, then you're looking at a problem with the camera itself. But if it's fixed in this application, but it's broken in the one that you're trying to get it set up for, then you know you have an issue with that application, okay? Because a lot of people will go down that bad road where they start messing with their entire stream, their entire live stream, their entire Twitch stream, and they start breaking things that they didn't mean to break because they're trying to fix their camera settings. But it may not be the camera, or I'm sorry, it may not be the application, OBS or whatever, it's actually the camera itself and they don't realize it. So whenever you have these issues, you always want to back out, close the application, because a camera cannot have two hosts, right? The camera can only connect to one device. So if it's being used in OBS, it can't be used for the camera app. And if it's in the camera app, it can't be used for OBS. You can only have one. So close out of OBS, open up a different app, and then test it there. So that's for everybody. That is a public service announcement. So if you have that problem, that's exactly how you would handle that. So out of the Mac and on to our troubleshooting, which I clicked on the wrong button because I lost track. Okay, like OBS, for example. So yeah, OBS 1 doesn't have cameras, but 2, if we're talking about just a camera that you have set up with an application or OBS software or something like that, then that's how we would troubleshoot that issue. Now, we need to know a little bit more about this camera, but he's going to explain it just from that question there. So that's how we would handle this, the prongle. Keep us posted. Man, go off on these camera type issues. Is where I missed. Okay, so for a very long time, I actually used to troubleshoot cameras. So I miss people asking me about camera issues. It used to be fun. So it's nice that you get camera issues every now and then. Alrighty. This is from Sauce. Okay, I know he wanted to go with Kawasaki, but it sounds like it's almost Sasuke. Okay, we'll go with Sasuke. Sasuke writes, what owning a game development workstation feels like. What owning a game development workstation? Oh, sweet. My CPU, my GPU, my case. Exactly. So what the nice fellow is trying to say is that whenever you work in game development workstation, meaning that you do like an Adobe, Autodesk, Maya, Mudbox, stuff like that, or you do 3D creation, stuff like that, you generally have an excellent CPU or more than one, and you also have an excellent GPU, Quadro type, but you have a terrible case because the case doesn't matter because all it has to do is make sure it provides enough cooling. So it may be on a server rack for all you know. So yeah, this is this is the life of an engineer, or this is the life of an engineer as well. We feel your pain, brother. It's the inside that counts. It's the, oh no, I'm not gonna say that. It sounds gross. We feel your pain, brother. Let's go with that. So yeah, it's exactly like that. You run into those a lot. Alrighty, group 4. Let's do this. What time is it? We burned so much time. I don't know if we're gonna get to all of it, but we'll try. Ethernet connection. Okay, this was the guy with the killer nick. Okay, so then he was saying that he was getting download and upload speeds didn't improve at all stuck at 28 megabits per second. And so we were asking him, he's like, okay, well, what's your internet speed while wired to the router? Go to speedtest.net and post the speeds here. We run a live stream where we support technical gaming issues for free. So we will see all replies and reach back on the following day. And this, a USB to Ethernet, is this a USB to Ethernet dongle or is it directly connected to the motherboard? It's around 28 megabits per second with both Wi-Fi and Ethernet. Oh, it's connected from my router to the side port. Okay. I've attempted to install and update to the latest drivers, but nothing seems to work. I've checked the Wi-Fi details and it's capable of 144 megabits per second. Wi-Fi details? So Wi-Fi details are how strong the connection is. It does not matter that I have a pipe that can do 4 liters a second if I only get 3 glasses an hour. Yep. What our colleague below is saying is that you would need to call your internet service provider and ask them what your internet speed is. Internet speed is. If your wired and wireless are the same speed, then the problem may not be the router, but the internet speed you are paying for. Okay. So, you know, just break it down for him. But Tech Stiggy is 100% right. But yeah, that's what you would do for this one here. Yep. What our colleague below is saying is that you would need to call your internet service provider and ask them what your internet speed is. If your wired and wireless are the same speeds, then the problem may not be the router, but the internet speed you're paying for. And it appears that there are 18 comments. So it appears that everybody else jumped on this as well. So it's over. More than likely somebody said what I just said. The last remaining one, I like it. Both sides of PS5 plates are super loose when removing them. PS5 plates. You mean the side panels. Speaking of side panels, I actually have some gray ones for my PS5, even though I haven't put them on yet, but they're in a different room. I thought that was just the coolest thing ever to change the side panels. But PS5, okay, it's on. Let's do this. When I lift the PS5 a certain way to clean the vents, and the plates sometimes come off, so I hold on the opposite of the plate where it does not come off, and that holds it in place. Anyone else experiencing this? Well, it's made out of plastic. Well, it's made out of plastic, so this can definitely happen over time. Have you removed the plates before? More than likely, they have become a bit loose over time, but you can replace them quite easily on Amazon or something similar. Yeah, you can get all kind of plates for the PS5. They're really cool too. But I wanted to get gray because at the time I had a gray case, and so I kind of wanted them to match, but yeah. Then this whole thing happened, and now I do something totally different. So yeah, so I didn't have a real need for it because it's just kind of sitting there. All right, but yeah, that's what I would say to the last remaining one. Keep us posted, kinda, Oh, okay. I thought that was a bear. I was like, is that a bear? Like, what? Why? What am I looking at? Rave my setup. First cat pewter build. Well, it's NZXT H510. And it has a cat in it, but it has pretty good cooling and ventilation. So hey, you know, I don't even know what to say. Okay. I know that no matter what joke I come up with, it's gonna get smoked. So I'm like, let's see here. No, I can't. I don't even know any dad jokes. MIC Yayo is following. Hey, I appreciate the follow. I don't even know any dad jokes to say to this. I like the case, and the cat matches the case. At least the carpet matches the drapes. Oh, nobody's beating that. Nobody's beating that. I'm sorry. I'm down. Look at this. Look at this. NZXT H510, NZXT Hail H510 with a cat that matches the color. Oh yeah, I know you get that joke. Nobody's beating this joke. I'm sorry. I'm going down and I'm making sure nobody beat this joke. Yes, blah, 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 blah. Make sure you have enough permal paste. No. Sorry, OP, but cat pewters never work properly. Too much conflict with mouse and inability to navigate windows without security holes. No. I like how the colors, dang it! Somebody already got close, but they're not as funny as mine. Where do you plug the display port? I think you already know the answer to that. Okay, that was a good one. That was a good one. That was a good one. Listen to this baby purr. Can it run, cat says? Oh, that's cute. That's cute. I'll give you that one. Perfect. Meow out of 10. We need a flare for cats. Yo, okay. They're good, but mine was way better. At least the carpets match the drapes. I'll take it. I'm taking that W. I taking that W. And you know how hard it is to out jokes people on Reddit? It is very hard. People on Reddit are really funny. And it's very hard for somebody who's only moderately funny to actually get a joke to win in this kind of a chat scenario. So hey, I'm taking my W, even if nobody votes it. That was funny, and I'm taking it. Chrome sub. GPU, PSU, no boot, red CPU light. Okay, we worked this issue, but hold on one second. All right, I remember this. He was talking about this, and we were like, okay, well, that's kind of not really an update. It's, you know what I mean? It's like 15%. It's like, why? So I updated my 3080 to a 3090 Ti and 750 to 1000. Okay, so we looked at this first because we were a little bit worried because you can't just update that and then swap them back and forth and make sure that you change the cables, because if you don't change the cables, you can lead to problems. Those cables are not meant to go for other devices, other PSUs. Well, red on Asus motherboard typically means CPU, but for this issue, can you go back to the 750 watt PSU? Does that fix the problem? Are you using any of the cables from the previous 750 watt PSU? They all swapped with the ones, and I tried to install the old PSU back. That gave me 0% across the board, no click or anything, and that one was operating same day before the swap. Whoa. When you swap the PSUs, did you also swap the cables, or did you use the same ones? Cables are not exactly compatible between PSUs and can cause serious issues to the motherboard if they don't exactly go into the device they are meant for, even if it's the same manufacturer. Oh yeah, of course, old PSU, old cables, etc. But turns out the battery rails inside the PSU shorted out, so it came DOA. New one fixed the issue. Oh, sweet. Okay. Oh, sweet. Gotcha. Glad you got it fixed, bro. All the best. All the best. We'll take our assist trophy. You know what I'm saying? We appreciate it. We appreciate it. Coming in with the assist trophy. It's okay. It's okay. We dime people up from time to time. And once I switch over to the other one, I want to be able to have score, right? So I'll have, W's, L's, and assists, so we can keep track of it. So I want like LeBron James shooting splits where you have like 37 points, 10 rebounds, and like 8 assists. I want to have that exact same shooting split. So I want to have it set up like that. That way we can keep track. But there's a lot of things that I have plans on doing in the future. So once we switch over and we start taking voice calls and P1 issues, and we start interviewing people, we'll get to that. But we have to get off OBS first because it's driving me crazy. In any event, PlayStation. All right, lag and latency when 30 to 40 feet away from Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer, 55 to 75% signal strength fix. It's a spoiler? I don't understand. Is this a question? Okay, I think it's a question. Okay, so lag and latency when 30 to 40 feet away from from Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer, 55 to 75% signal strength fix. Okay, well, all right. So, okay, here's what he's saying, right? So let's pull it up, right? So let me see if I can try to explain what he's trying to say. So what he's trying to say is, let's say, I don't think I have Modern Warfare on this guy, but let's say God of War is Modern Warfare. So whenever he's in multiplayer, he's having some issues with his Wi-Fi connectivity. What he's saying is, whenever he goes into his settings and then he goes into his network, he's saying that whenever he's testing his internet connection, he's saying that his internet speeds and his connectivity is low. And he's having some Wi-Fi connectivity problems. As you can see, you see mine with all the bars. But I don't know if that actually changed, because mine always said that. So I'm not sure, in the time that I've had a PS5, I've always had all my bars, but I'm guessing that may actually be updating. So he's saying that he's getting some issues with his connectivity with the PS5. So let's go ahead and go back here and let's see what we can do to help him. Well, what happens if the PS5 is plugged directly into the router? Does your internet issue go away? Okay, we can ask other questions, but we can't continue from that question. There's a reason for this. The very next question we're going to ask him is let's say if he says, yes, that fixed my issue. The very next thing we're going to ask him is to say, okay, unplug it and connect to your Wi-Fi while directly next to your router, and then see what happens. Because we're trying to see if his issue is distance, right? So if there's metal in his walls, or if there's something that's blocking him, or if it's on the same signal or the same bandwidth, for example, if it's on channel 6 and everything else in his house, including his microwave, is on channel 6, then that can be a problem. You know what I mean? So he wants to be on a less stressful bandwidth, or maybe on 5 gigs. So depending on the situation, that could be the problem. That's why we're trying to have him get closer to the router. So we can't ask that yet, because we want him to connect wired first to see if the issue is resolved. So we can't really continue past that. I'm just trying to explain, because usually we give people about 2 or 3 things they can test. This guy will only give 2. So we'll say that, and then we'll also say on this guy here to also, what is your internet speed when you run a test? Be sure to test on Wi-Fi as well as directly connected to the router. Okay, so the reason why we want to know this, right, is because, okay, there are situations where even with 100% Wi-Fi connectivity, you still have slow internet, right? So we want to make sure that there isn't latency in the line as well as Wi-Fi connectivity issues, right? It can be one or the other. Wi-Fi connectivity issues just may mean signal, right? So depending on your signal to noise ratio or how far away you are from the router, that could be a problem, yes. But you could also have a problem with just the speed at which it's able to actually communicate, regardless if you're right next to it or you're far away. So we're gonna go ahead and get the speed test of where he is at his current location, and then we'll take the speed test of him wired, and then we'll unplug and do another speed test with him directly connected. That way we can compare from where he wants to be to where he currently is to where he is when he's wired, and then we can go from there. So that's basically the nicer way of asking all of that. So then we can just kind of compare and be able to troubleshoot him a little bit more here. So I'm not sure what the whole title support spoiler thing is. I think, I just read the title and just went, okay, let's see if it has anything to do with this. My Xfinity X7B modem in living room next to LG Plasma PS5 when gaming Call of Duty multiplayer does amazing 100% signal strength. However, in my room 30 to 40 feet away, Panasonic Plasma at 55 to 75% signal strength, my Modern Warfare 2 lag and latency can't play any fix. Okay, well. Okay. Well, we don't need this. Do we? Let me think about that. Well, okay. Do we know the answer to his question? Well, of course we do. So if his Wi-Fi is better whenever he's closer to the router, but it's terrible when he's further away, then let lets us know that maybe there's something interfering, or maybe trying a different bandwidth. So we'll go with that instead. Also, what is your internet speed when you run a test? Be sure to we still want. Yeah, I do want that, but let's go with this. So that typically means that you may have some interference. Okay. Are you on the 2.4 gig or the 5 gig bandwidth? If you are on 2.4 and can't switch to 5, then I would say to change the channel on the router. If you are on channel 6, try channel, oh my goodness, I cannot type. Try channel 11. If you are on the you are on 2.4, okay, well, there's no point in this because they both have channels, and can't switch to 5. There's no point in saying that. We'll just say this. I would say change the channel on the router if you are on channel 6, then try channel 11, etc. 11, channel 11 or 1. I would say change the channel on the router if you're on channel 6, try channel 11 or 1. Are you on the 2.4 gig or the 5 gig bandwidth? Also, what is your internet speed when you run a test? Yeah, that's basically it. There's not a whole lot you can do here. Let's also give him a workaround, because that's probably what he's going to end up having to do anyway. Also, you may need to run Ethernet over power if you are unable to get a strong enough signal to the room you want it in, or hook up directly to the router, or run a cable. Let's just say it that way. Run a cable. We'll just go with that, right? So okay, so if his issue is that when he's on Wi-Fi and he's near a router but not directly connected, but he's on Wi-Fi, everything is fine. When he goes to his room a little bit further away, his signal degrades, and because of his signal degrade, he gets latency in the line. Therefore, whenever he tries to go on Wi-Fi or tries to go on Modern Warfare multiplayer, he gets a problem because his signal is weak. So yeah, that's gonna happen, you know. So it appears that you may have some interference. It could be that, you know, he says, you know, 10 feet, but that could be the difference between downstairs and upstairs, and between downstairs and upstairs, there's a ton of metal. So it really depends on the situation, which is why it's also a good idea to go ahead and tell him about Ethernet over power. Typically, we don't bring money into situations unless we have no choice. But here, it may end up being his next resort, and I don't know when he's going to reply back. So it's better to just go ahead and mention it. That way he knows that there is an option in the event that his Wi-Fi, and there's no fix for his Wi-Fi, or he's not able to get it to work. Now, you could also say checking and doing an update on the firmware for the router. That's a possibility, but it's a lesser possibility than the ones that we've already brought up because of how far away. All he did was move it, you know, a certain distance. So if that's the case, then it sounds like it's just something with interference. Fuego. I hope that helps. Keep us posted. I didn't know that was a thing. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to click on that. But I didn't know when you put it spoiler and then check to see spoiler. Like, what was the point of that? All you did was confuse me for like 2 minutes. I was like, how do I click on this? How do I answer your question? I just want to help. All right, Group 5. Let's do this. Xbox. We're back to Xbox. I'm down. Xbox wireless headset issue, crackling audio drop-off, sound distortion. I think we worked this. Okay, cool, yeah. It appears that this headset can pair via Bluetooth. We looked this up. So he gave us some information about his headset. It's a Razer Kiera Pro. And on the Razer Kiera Pro, when we looked up this website, it said that it also supports Bluetooth. So we were like, okay, well, if it supports Bluetooth, try to pair with Bluetooth and see what happens. And have you tried this as an option? Also, do you have a pair of wired headphones? What happens if you plug those into the controller? Does the audio sound get better? There's a reason why we want to test that, right? Because if we plug it in the controller is still connected to the actual Xbox via Wi-Fi or Bluetooth or whatever they're using these days, but it's still a wireless connection, right? So if we hook up wire to the controller, there's still a wireless connection, so it makes for a valid test. And he says, thanks for your response. Yes, it can pair via Bluetooth. Oh, well, then what are we doing here? Do you mean try pairing it via Bluetooth to the Series X or to another device like my phone? If you meant to the Series X, I believe it does not have Bluetooth. Series X doesn't have Bluetooth? Okay, to be fair, I've only had the Series X for like what did we got it like 2 weeks ago? So, okay, maybe I did not know. I thought it had Bluetooth. It may just be me, but he may be right. Most people have had a Series X longer than I have. I mean, I've always had a computer, so I've never had a Series X, so that could be me. My man might be right here. Account. No. System. No. Console info. That's definitely not it. Devices and connections. Media. Remote. Blu-ray. Oh, maybe I saw Blu-ray and thought Bluetooth. Remote features. Access. Remote media. Accessories. Okay, no. Devices and connections. Okay, he's right. Snap. I didn't know it didn't have Bluetooth. You know what? You know where I got this from? So I didn't think the Switch had Bluetooth. And I saw something like some type of a post talking about Bluetooth on the Switch. Like I was looking on the Nintendo Switch and it started talking about Bluetooth. I was like, I don't remember the Switch ever having Bluetooth. You know, I thought it had wireless, of course, and I thought it had the wired 3.5 millimeter, but I thought one of the big things was that it didn't have Bluetooth. And I think maybe I associated that all devices have Bluetooth, but this man is right. It appears that there is no Bluetooth option, so that's my fault. Didn't know. I've always had computers. I never really had Xboxes until recently when we got ours. So okay, so my apologies. My apologies for that. Yes, I meant Xbox. Sorry for my apologies for that. Apologies for that. Still due to the console. Just got one for testing, for troubleshooting issues and not for play. LOL. Okay, so update, tried wired headphones and do not have the issue. Okay, cool. So he tried wired headphones. He doesn't have a problem. Another update, same day. Weird. Does it as well, but not as frequent. There's still distortion here and there. Okay, so he really may have an issue with his wireless connectivity. So Xbox doesn't have a no, I don't think so. I was gonna literally pick this Xbox up, but it's really heavy. I just remembered. I was trying to remember if there had any ports on the back. You know, like back in the day, it used to have a SPDIF and stuff like that, but I don't think it actually has an audio. I think the only audio jack is actually on the controller itself, which is right here. Or, sorry. That eye tracking on them Sonys don't play. so yeah, it has the 3.5 millimeter there. So he's having an issue, but it's not as bad when he's going into controller, which means that he does have a wireless connectivity issue with the Xbox, which means that there may be something that's in the way. So okay, let's try this. These guys can go wired. Okay. Oops, sorry. Too many controllers in the way. Okay. So let's try this. I can't spell. Let's try this. Now that we know the issue is reduced, wired, plug the Xbox controller into the Xbox itself, and see if the issue goes away 100%. In the meantime, pair your headset to your phone to see if it makes a difference. Excuse me. All right, so that's what we'll do. We'll play it both ways, right? So yes, he's right. Bluetooth is not supported. Well, I don't know if it's not supported, but Bluetooth is not an option that you see in the Xbox settings. Therefore, I will go ahead and acquiesce to what he's saying that it doesn't support it. I don't know. So with that here, we'll just go ahead and move on, which means that basically just take the headset that you're having an issue with, the Kiera Pro, and then plug it into your phone, and not necessarily plug it in, but connect via Bluetooth to your phone and see if the issue goes away. And then on the other side, on the flip side, the 3.5 millimeter jack that you have going into the actual controller, go ahead and put the controller into the Xbox to see if that issue goes away. That lets us know if you have an issue with just Wi-Fi connectivity with the Xbox, maybe there's something interfering, which means that we may have to move it to a different location or something along those lines because something is getting in the way. Or it could be a hardware issue. But we kind of go to that as the last resort, you know. I think he said he bought it on Christmas or something. Oh no, that was the other guy. But if he's still under warranty, he may have to RMA. But you know, we'll reach that point when we get to it. Okay, Micro Warrior. Oh, hey, it looks like we may have a W. I got this error code. I got blah blah blah. I've tried restarting my Xbox and signing in and out. Well, at any point in time, did you have a different username or did you change your email address for your Xbox account? We have seen this issue several times before, and usually it's caused by account changes. So you may need to open a ticket with Microsoft. And he said, thank you, I'll try. And I said, okay, well, the best thing you can do is to try from a computer or remote play to see if that worked. Subscription is paid, the error, FTFY. I don't know what that means. Although paid exists, the reason why autocorrection didn't help you, it is only correct in. Unfortunately, I was unable to find a nautical or rope related words in your comment. Beep boop, I'm a bot. What did I just read? I don't even know. Okay, I think we already worked this issue. Do is try from a computer or remote play to see if that fails as well. More than likely, though, you need to open a ticket with Xbox. I could have sworn we okay, it's set to solved. So it appears that it's already resolved. So I think that he ended up fixing it by resetting his Wi-Fi or something. Maybe it was on another group, but I'm not about to go back. There's too many tickets. We help too many people too fast. I'm not about to go back. But I feel like we've already worked them, so whatever. We'll take it. We'll take it. It's not OW, but it's an assist trophy, and we'll take it. Ooh, my newest obsession, 2.7 liter LZ mod DC RLY V2 with an RTX A2000. We talked about that A2000 yesterday. This guy here, if left to his own devices and some cooling, it actually trades blows with the RTX 3060. So, and on top of that, it's super tiny. So the RTX A2000, for those of you who are not aware of how cool this card is this guy here. You see how small and tiny it is compared to all of the gigantic behemoths behind me? Like this big bastard, you know, that is literally the size of most people's computer case. Well, the RTX A2000 is way smaller. Oh, that looks tacky. It's way smaller and you can do a lot more with it. Oh, speaking of which, I actually did get some lights. Hold on, let me try to turn this thing on. Okay, I tried to charge it, but I don't know what happened. But let's see here. There we go. There we go. Okay. That looks tacky too. Okay. There we go. There we go. Okay, that looks better. Okay. So A2000, yes, is a very nice card for very small form factors. And let's see what this guy turned into. Let's see. That's a very small case. I like the slits, but I worry that there may not be enough cooling because this thing looks straight metal. I like the mini Wi-Fi dongle. That's cute. Well, okay. Also, it has room for the actual graphics card, but it looks like he may have had to deshroud it to get it to fit properly. Maybe. That's interesting. I'll call it that. Oh yeah, okay. Maybe he didn't have to do anything. Maybe he just got it to work properly. Oh, maybe he did have to do a few things. Okay. So it looks like he had to do a little bit of modification here to get it to work properly. Yeah. Yeah. So you just put a heatsink on it. And so there's no fan blowing into it. So yeah. Lovely. Sorry to disappoint you, but someone finished a 1.1 liter A2000 build inside of a ThinkStation Tiny. And there are quite a few A2000 builds in the Skyreach 4 Tiny case, 3.3 liter, which is larger than the case, but These include internal power bricks, so no external power supply needed. One crazy build that you can find on YouTube even managed a full water-cooled build with internal PSU and 3.3 liters. As a matter of fact, the person who did that was the person who created the S4 Tiny. Well, it was his best friend or his homie or whatever. I saw the Think Center. Why would you ruin his flow like that, man? I'm like, hey, congrats, you know? Congrats on the build. Congrats on the build. Who said that? It was somebody who was talking about something like that where he was bringing down his sibling. It's like, man, why would you want to bring down your sibling like that if they have like good aspirations? And I feel like everybody is my sibling when we're talking about tech. So I was like, I'm not about to bring you down. Like, I'll tell you the truth, but I'm not about to bring you down like that if I don't have to. So congrats on the build, bro. Like, it doesn't do me any good. Like what do I gain from bringing somebody down? You know what I mean? Like this whole channel and the things that we're about, the things that we do this to help as many people as humanly possible. We have no gain in bringing people down. Like, we're not trolls. We try to help people as much as humanly possible. Like, that's the whole thing. That's what the whole channel is about. So for me, I just don't see a point in, ruining somebody's vibe. So, hey, if you create a brand new computer, bro, if it's new to you, it's new. That's the way I look at it. If I haven't seen it, it's new to me. That's exactly the way I feel about it. PlayStation. Okay, let's do this. Let's get a swig here. Let's knock it out. All right. Raichu. Hey, look, I like that name. Hey, gotta represent for Vermilion Gym, baby. Lieutenant Surge, let's go. Raichu says, I'm saying Raichu. I don't care if it's an S. Need help with something involving storage on PS5. Okay, we got your back, yo. So I'm going to try to explain as best I can. Some time ago, I realized my PS5 console storage was almost full, so I got a Western Digital Caviar Black. No, that's not a Caviar Black. That's just a Western Digital Black SN850X. This is a 2 terabyte. I think this is SSD. It better not be the Caviar Black. Yeah, it's NVMe. Okay. To store my PS5 games, but I mainly wanted to have space for my media gallery. I like recording my gameplay and taking screenshots. Who doesn't? I'm the type that takes video of myself playing video games and then study those videos so I can get better. That's the type of person I am. I'm like LeBron with myself. Like, I'll just sit here and just watch tons and tons of videos to figure out how I can get better at certain games. Also, I want to mention I have a 4 terabyte Seagate USB storage device on my PS5 already from my PS4 that I moved when I got my PS5, so I could play my PS4 games I had on it. Okay. So yesterday I moved everything except for 4 games I wouldn't play for a while that were on the USB storage device, then put them in my PS4 storage so my USB storage device would be empty. Then I thought if I formatted it to exFAT, it would be able to store my media gallery and have a lot of space for screenshots and video clippings, recordings, but that's not the case. So if someone could explain my options, it would be much appreciated. Apologies for my crappy spacing. I just want to move on and get this over with. Okay. So this is a PlayStation, and he's saying that he wants to use he has a 2 terabyte NVMe. So are you looking to replace the NVMe already in the PS5 and then use the external drive for your video storage? I think that's what he's saying. So if we go to like PS5, we were just there talking about it with another customer. So if we were in storage, right? Oh no, I'm sorry. We were there on the Xbox, not the PlayStation. And we go to the console storage. You have the console storage and then you have the USB extended storage, right? And it says USB. I'm sorry, I don't have the option to remove my face from videos yet. I'll get that option as soon as I switch over to a different platform. Use a USB drive formatted as a USB extended storage and move your files. There to free up space in console storage. You can install PS4 games to USB extended storage and play them directly from there. If you have a USB extended storage drive you're using on your PS4, you can also use it on your PS5. And then install location. So you basically choose the install location of the actual files themselves. So I guess what I'm really trying to figure out here is he trying to replace the console storage with the 2 terabyte NVMe and then use the external drive for his other media gallery? That seems to make the most sense, but he's moving all of his PS4 games over to the NVMe, which is fine because, you know, it'll boot up a lot faster. So, you know, and then leave the hard drive to all of his video footage. So I think that's what he's trying to go for. Just pull out the 1 terabyte NVMe and replace it with the one you just bought and call it a day. And then just reinstall the PS5 and you'll be fine. Or just copy over the files and format it. Either way is fine. So I think we have them pegged right here. So on this one here, so are you looking to replace the NVMe already in the replace the NVMe already? Why would I say already? The NVMe, that's tacky, and the PS5, and then use the external drive for your video storage? I think that's what you meant, but let us know if this is not the setup you are looking for. But this is essentially how you would set that up. Move all the files to the new NVMe as you, okay, well, not, okay. Install PS5 on the NVMe and move the files over. Oh, I don't even want to say that. We'll just go with that and just see what he says. It appears that it's another person that commented. So what we'll say to that is, so are you looking to replace the NVMe and the PS5 and then use the external drive for your video storage? I think that's what you meant, but let us know if this is not the setup you're looking for, but this is essentially how you would set that up. Exactly. So this is what you would do to set that up. I don't want to go too much further with that because I don't know exactly where his files are. I think he may have moved his files over to the actual NVMe, which is, I don't want to have him then try to format because he'll lose his files, his PS4 files. So, you know, and try to talk him and going back to, you see what I'm saying? We're starting to troubleshoot an issue that may not even exist right now. We don't know what he's trying to do. So we'll just go with this and just try to get a better understanding of what he's talking about. And this guy here was talking about, okay, so what's the actual problem? That's exactly why we didn't continue talking. By the sounds of it, you have an external hard drive that you want to use for capture, so you formatted for exFAT. Is that correct? Are you saying the console isn't recognizing the HDD? You cannot transfer your captures? Yeah, I just don't know. We need more information. And it appears that my colleague down here needs more information as well. Okay, fair enough. Let's go ahead and go to the next one here. Keep us posted, Raichu. Raichu, okay. I was like, Raichu again? Oh my God, he has 2 tickets? Okay, Fiasco Bofin. Battery only charging to 20%. My elderly Galaxy Tab S3 used to discharge very fast. Oh, we're back to cell phones. And I don't have a single cell phone. Well, I don't have an Android phone. I have an iPhone with me, but my Android is in another room because, okay, I found out that in order to see the graphic on YouTube Shorts, you have to use an Android phone. Don't ask me why, but if you want to upload YouTube Shorts, always use your Android phone to see what the graphics are going to be, like the actual thumbnail, because you can't see it on other devices. But that's the reason why it's in a different room. My elderly Galaxy Tab S3, oh, he's a tab. Okay, he's not talking about a phone. It went from 100 to 0 within 6 hours and standby after a factory reset. That's not bad. My elderly Galaxy Tab S3 used to discharge very fast. It went to 100 to 0 within 6 hours in standby. So you mean, okay, after a factory reset. Okay, so that is kind of fast. So he's basically saying when not using it, it drained 6 hours without him doing anything. Blaming the OS, I flashed Lineage. It worked great for a day. The percentage wasn't dropping like at a rocket launcher countdown and lasted an appropriate amount of time. I tricked every little percent out of the battery before plugging it in. That was 2 days ago. The first night I charged to 19%. I switched to my S22 Ultra charger cable, but it also raised it to 23%. Do I need more power? I suck at electrical engineering, or is my battery at its end? It sounds like your battery is depleted if you had it charged. Well, how long did you? Okay, one, we don't know time. How long has it been charging? Has it gone over 25%? Well, he said it used to go from 100 to 0. What was the point of saying that? The first night I charged to 19%. I switched to my S22 Ultra charger cable, but it raised it to 23%. But earlier he was saying that he's had it at 100% before. So what was the point of saying that? Do I need more power? How long has it been charging? Yeah, I'm gonna stick with that. How long has it been charging? Does it increase past 25%? And for those of you who aren't aware, the Galaxy Tab S3 is like a small tablet. It's this guy. I've worked with them before. So does it increase past 25%? And if it is a battery issue, it's game over. How long has it been charging? Does it increase past 25%? What happens if you, okay. I'll concede that what I'm about to ask him is stupid. Okay. And the only reason why I say it's stupid is because I am in the party that believes that if you update the firmware of Android devices and maybe even iPhone devices, I don't know for sure, that there's a possibility that it may degrade your battery because they want you to replace it. That I am also in that camp. So I get that. So I get that me asking this next question is stupid. Okay. But you gotta ask it, right? Because it's like, okay, well, okay, can you try to update the firmware? Because you gotta understand, if he doesn't update the firmware, or if he doesn't try at least the firmware, there's nowhere to go for this. This is a Samsung Galaxy Tab S3. His only option is death. So because of that, we have to at least let him know, like, hey, go ahead and at least try to update the firmware. I get firmware updates tend to drain the battery even more so, but let's go ahead and try to update the firmware, see exactly what happens, and then kind of go from there, because that's the only thing that he really has. He's between a rock and a hard place, right? And that hard place is the end of his tab, because his tab is old. Like these guys here, it's been a while, right? So the Galaxy Tab S3, this is from 2017. It's a very, very, very old device, right? So we have to let him know, like, hey, you can go ahead and try to do a firmware update, but you know, after that, it's pretty much game over anyway. So that's the only time that I would really, it's okay to go ahead and do a firmware update if they're talking about battery, in the event that if it doesn't fix it, it's game over anyway. You see what I'm saying? We're basically playing with no lives. Like it's already over regardless of what happens. So we might as well go all out. You see what I'm saying? But if a person is having a battery issue, and we usually won't tell them to upgrade because we're of the mindset that upgrading may actually degrade the battery even further. Does that make sense? So that's the reason why I say my answer to his reply is going to be stupid, but I want to let people know I understand that it's stupid, but we have to ask him that question because he's between a rock and a hard place. So we don't have anything to lose here. He's playing with house money. All right. Does it increase past? What happens if you update the firmware? Does it help with the battery retention? All right. So we'll go with that. See what he says. It doesn't matter what he says. Probably not really, because if we can't fix it with that, it's pretty much game over anyway. You know, if your battery's starting to degrade like that, I don't care if it's a Tesla. It's a replacement no matter what, right? But in his particular case, his device is so old, the cost to fix it will be more than the price of just buying a new tablet. So it's not worth it. That's why we say it's over. Okay, so yeah, group 5 done. That was fun. That was a nice issue. It was a different change of pace, right? We went PS5, Xbox, PC kind of thing. So it was a different change of pace. Flat yak, black yak, yakety yak. PS5 controller troubleshooting. I'm down with troubleshooting PS5 controllers. We do it every day. My PS5 controller is now unusable due to major drifting. Well. And I have a second PS5 controller. I was trying to connect with a cable, but it was just showing an orange light and then going back to no light. I know that. Should I just get a new controller, or am I doing something wrong with the controller to connect to the new controller? Well, did you, if I remember correctly, there is a button. Okay, I don't want to press it. I don't want to turn off my PS5, but there was a button that you could press that would pair it with the PS5 controller. Like there's actually instructions. So, PS5 pairing new controller. Okay, right here. DualSense wireless PS5 console support. How to pair a DualSense wireless controller. Yeah, you can use blah, blah, blah. Make sure connect the controller to using the USB cable. Okay, well, take that back. We'll just go with that. No. Well, did you try to, I'm sorry. I was trying to connect with a cable, but it was just showing an orange light and then going back to no light. It was showing an orange light and then going back to no light. And then this other controller can't connect as well. Okay, well, there is an app that allows you to log into the PS5 from your phone. Try to log into the device and then try to add the new controller by plugging it into the USB port or USB-C port. Okay, wow. Okay, fine. You don't want to give me a suggestion for that because you don't know what the heck I'm talking about. I'll type it. It's okay. Plugging it into the okay. To be fair, USB port could mean type A or type C, so I'll accept it even though it sounds a little awkward. Try to log it into the device and then try to add the new controller by plugging it into the USB port to see if it makes a difference. What he's talking about, for those of you who don't know, is whenever you pair, if you look at our PS5 controller here, you see how it's white? All right, so whenever you're trying to pair a new controller, sometimes it'll glow orange here and here, right? If it glows orange, that means that it's having some issues pairing with the PS5, or the PS5 is having some issues, or it may be rebooting, or you maybe actually be turning the actual device off. And sometimes you can have issues going back and forth when pairing the PS5 to the PS5 controller. So 9 times out of 10, because this other controller is also malfunctioning, his PS5 is probably at the loading screen. So the best way to try to work this issue is try to connect to it remotely with a cell phone or something like that. That way you can at least control it. And then once you have control of it, then go ahead and plug it in to see if it makes a difference. Because at that point in time, the PS5 is on. Most of the time, the PS5 is asleep. So you have to be able to have some type of controller in order to connect it up, because if not, it's going to go back to sleep on. You see what I'm saying? So we're trying to connect to him remotely to make sure that it stays on, and then plug in the USB cable and see if it makes a difference. So that's what we're trying to get him to do. Well, there is an app that allows you to log into the PS5 from your phone, try to log into the device, and then it's called Remote Play. That's the name of the app. But and then try to add the new controller by plugging it into the USB port to see if it makes a difference. It's not just Remote Play. You should get a remote. There's an app that literally gives you a remote for the PS5. Okay, I don't know if he's Android or iOS, but I will just go with that and see if we can get that working that way, or just trying it, or just get a new controller. Yeah, he probably should just get a new controller too. So we probably should just, if you can't, okay, we'll just go with that. We'll go with that. He knows that if this doesn't work, then it's probably new controller time. Okay, 907, we're doing okay. Considering everything that happened today, we're doing okay. Skybug and Xbox, okay, no, we already worked this issue. I'm not talking about squares and circles no more. Fractal Hype, need I say more? Oh, that's pretty. Okay, so this is a fractal ridge. If anybody is curious as to what this is the fractal ridge. And the fractal ridge is special because it can actually fit a 3-slot GPU. You can actually fit a 4090, but it has to be the Founders Edition. It can't be any of the other versions. And on top of that, it's still a very, very small form factor. Now, of course, because it can fit a 3090 3-slot GPU, that means that in the top part where the actual CPU is located, you can only go up to like 47 millimeters. So that's going to be like your Noctua L9As or your Cryowig C7Gs, things of that nature. But it's still, it's still a really, really good case. As you can see here, he has a 3060 Ti. And then also you can kind of have fans in the front, though granted, if you do have a 3-slot GPU, you can't have the fans there. It's too big. But still, it's a pretty sweet build that you can actually get going here with these fractal ridges. So I never really liked the look of them because it didn't really look all that appealing, because I've seen slimmer. So because I've seen slimmer, I don't really like it. You know what I mean? And on top of that, it's not like it can fit a Gigabyte or a ASUS or a PNY, any of those bigger 4090s. So it doesn't really matter to me all that much, but it's still a really, really nice build and a really compact one. So you have the Fractal Ridge, of course, 7700X with a 3060 Ti. And then he has a B650 EI-TX motherboard. And then 32 gigs of RAM, the usual stuff, some SFF cables, yada, yada, yada. And here we go talk about the Founders Edition cards. Nice build, bro. Always a fan of the Ridge. it looks better in its vertical orientation than it does in its horizontal one, because this horizontal one doesn't, it's like it's leaning. It doesn't look right. But still, congrats on the build, bro. L91. Gamios. I remember him. His name sounded like Cheerios. Xbox Series X is slow as heck while having a big game update being downloaded. We talked about this. We have a really good internet connection around 200 megabits per second, and we appreciated the fact that he actually called it megabits per second instead of megabytes. I guess it should not happen that a game download consumes most of the bandwidth such that other apps get problems. We explained this yesterday, but I can give a quick overview. There is a possibility that he may have some priority to gaming traffic based on his router, and that's a possibility. So we just wanted to keep that aware. Well, are you on Wi-Fi or are you connected directly? If you're on Wi-Fi first, do a speed test from the Xbox test network speed set and statistics, then connect to wired and run the test again. Let me know the results. So this is the location of where it's at on the Xbox. I'll bump this using my data. I'm hardwired in. Here are the pictures. He gave us the pictures and his internet speeds were pretty good. I remember that. That's excellent. What about when you are on Wi-Fi? What are your speeds then? Granted, you are downloading Destiny 2, which is one of the biggest games in the world, only second to Final Fantasy in terms of file size. I'm not lying. Destiny 2 is like 107 gigs. Like, it's huge. And then Final Fantasy is like 83, 87, something like that. Oh, okay. Well, they just if they get a new expansion, it'll be bigger. But yeah, they are big. They are very, very big. It's also possible your ISP may be nerfing your speed due to traffic or traffic you are sending, but we will reach those when we get to it. Let me know your speeds after router reboot and your speeds on Wi-Fi if Wi-Fi is the ultimate goal. Thanks. Also, we see numbers, but we don't know in what respect to time. How long has this download been going on for? Thanks for your reply. I don't think it's my ISP throttling, as I downloaded Destiny 2 on my PS5 just to see if it was my network or Microsoft servers. Destiny 2 downloaded in entirety in 25 minutes on my PS5, both hardwired to my router. Both of them are. Okay, I thought it would be interesting to try my son's Xbox Series S, downloaded Destiny 2 fresh and was receiving 10 to 15 megabits per second, just like my console. But he said download it as in past tense, and then it was able to download. You notice this stuff when you start working into you listen to the tense that people talk in whenever you're working in tech, because it's like, okay, download it means that he actually was successful in getting it to download. I rebooted all items again, modem, router, Xbox, still receiving 60 megabits per second on average. Download has been going on for 3 hours now. I hate to say it, but I think something is up on Microsoft's end. What? But you said your son's Xbox, but you said you tried your son's Xbox Series S and then said you downloaded as in past tense. Destiny 2. Was the download successful on the Xbox Series S? I mean, we can prove this. I mean, I'm not afraid. Destiny is free, isn't it? If I remember correctly, Destiny 2 is free. I mean, hey, there's nothing but space and opportunity here. So what you got, Cletus? All right, I'm down. I think it's on the Game Pass too, but we'll just go to the store and do a search for. So the reason why we were able to test this, even though he is on a Series 1 or Series S, is because Xboxes use the same thing. They all use the exact same platform. It's just different systems and different specs, but they use the same platform. Destiny. All right, get free. Got it. Look at the queue. All right, what speeds are we getting? A gazillion, bazillion megabits per second. Okay. Cool. So that was a quick test. All right. I'm not sure that is the case because, well, okay. Just tested my Xbox Series X since they all use the same OS. and it was getting, what was it getting? 200 megabits per second. Approximately 200 Mbps. Now, of course, granted internet speeds, of course. It was getting approximately 200 megabits per second on Wi-Fi. So I don't really think, well, okay, on Wi-Fi. So it may be that, okay, you don't want to challenge a customer's conclusions. You only want to offer alternatives. I'll repeat that so everybody can understand what I'm saying. You never want to challenge a customer's conclusions. You only want to provide alternatives. What I mean by that is he drew the conclusion that there's an issue on Microsoft's side. We just proved there was no issue on Microsoft's side. However, we don't want to tell him no, right? Because all that's going to do is lead to conflict. So instead of that, we can say, okay, well, we were getting 200 megabits per second on Wi-Fi, but it could be that the reason why yours was having an issue was because you tried on a different day than us. You see what I'm saying? So we're not actually saying no to what he's saying. We're providing an alternative to make him go away from his conclusion, okay? Because do I think that it's Microsoft? No. Because if it was, then everybody would have issues. Destiny's a huge game, right? So I don't think that for this particular game that is going to be Microsoft, I think that it may have something to do with its network connectivity settings. Now, he also didn't mention if the Xbox Series S had the same problem, but more than likely it did. So it could be more of the lines of his network, but he said he already rebooted his router, so on and so forth. But I think it's more about him than it is about Microsoft. But don't just tell him that because he made that conclusion. Just basically veer him outside to a different alternative. Don't necessarily just tell him no, because all that's going to do is create confrontation. You never want to do that. You never want to tell a customer flat out no. You want to basically give them better options, but not just straight up say no to anyone, really, because you're trying to be their friend and have them trust you. That's the first thing that you want to do when troubleshooting anybody's issue, is get them to earn their trust. Because if you earn somebody's trust, it can go a long way. I don't care if you don't know a whole lot about tech. I don't care if you're not that savvy. I don't care if you don't know anything about networking or IPs or gaming or tech or consoles or anything like that. A person is willing to work with you if they trust you. Okay, it doesn't matter if you know the answer. You could know somebody who knows the answer, and that is good enough. Some of the best engineers I've met in my life had no idea of how to troubleshoot certain technical issues, but they knew somebody who did. And because of that, they were able to troubleshoot those issues, and every customer loved them. So there is more to being an engineer. There's more to being a tech. There's more to troubleshooting and helping people than just knowing the technology. It has to be that friend aspect as well, because once you get their trust, you can go as far as you want to with them. So you have to earn that trust. You don't want to do anything that can ruin that. You see what I'm saying? Just because you're trying to bump up your ego or something like that. It's not about ego. It's about helping people and gaining people's trust. That's what it's about. So just got to let people know that. So with this one here, so it may be that you were running your test a day before ours, but this has been going on for over a day. Has it downloaded yet? You see how I countered? Right? So it's like we're countering, but we're not really telling him no, right? So we're countering, and then we're like, okay, well, it's been a day. Has this actually resolved? Or are you still having a problem? And kind of just go from there. So yeah, that's how you would handle Mr. Gamios there, or just any customer that has a conclusion drawn that may not agree with your conclusion. Alrighty, DPRK Legend says he has 100% packet loss on his Xbox Series X. Okay, I'm down. I love 100% packet loss. Obviously not when I'm streaming, but I like troubleshooting them. They're always fun. I was playing Warzone and the game timed out. Then I was booted to the main menu. That was 12 hours ago. And for those of you who are aware, Call of Duty Modern Warfare can kick you out. But if you have Wi-Fi connectivity or a loss of signal, it'll just kick you to the main screen. It won't kick you out the game. I was playing Warzone and the game timed out, and then I was booted to the main menu. That was 12 hours ago, and I still can't access any multiplayer servers. I can sign into my account, but I can't play games online. Anyone else have an issue like this? Okay, well, we're going to say the same thing that we told that other guy. So could you run a speed test? Well, okay. So are you wired or wireless? Be sure to reboot the Xbox. Then after the reboot, we're going to have them do a speed test, but I don't know it off the top of my head. I always have to go here and check. Because we troubleshoot too many devices. We troubleshoot Xbox, we troubleshoot PS5, we troubleshoot Switch, we troubleshoot, you know, any device that's technical related. So I can't possibly remember. Hey, did the speed slow down? Why is that bar so small? No, it is slow down. It's just 107 gigs. Bar didn't slow down. It's just a gigantic file. All right, so it's going to be general and then network settings and then test network speed and statistics. General, network, test network speed and statistics. Then after reboot, go to general, network settings, and network speed and statistics. Test your internet speed, then hook up directly to the router and test again, and let us know your findings. So yeah, we'll have them run a couple speed tests and then kind of go from there. We can pretty much get an idea of what's going on in this network just from the speed test alone. So we'll just go with that. Group 6 is done and we have 9 minutes left, and group 7 is small, so we should be all right. Pictures, jungle workspace in the middle of the woods. or you just really like plants. Oh, it's a video. You know we love videos. Hold on. I paused it because normally it starts muted, but I think we just missed something that may have been funny.
The many miles we walk, the many things we learn, the building of a shrine, only just to burn. May the wind be at your back, good fortune touch your hand.
Any longer than 30 seconds, 36 seconds would have been a copyright infringement, which is why I'm guessing he didn't continue. Got to make sure he avoids those copyright infringements. I get that. Okay, I don't know what that was, and I don't know what just happened, but I'm okay with it. Like, he had music and everything. Not only did he have music, my man's had pans, okay? Meaning that he panned the camera. So that means he has some type of camera and setup, like he's going in. So congrats to him. He must be a YouTuber or something like that. So congrats, I guess. The plants look so comfy. I mean, it provides oxygen, but you know, it also attracts bugs. So yeah. I'm not the most green thumb person. Like, as you can see here, that is a plastic plant. I don't have like the live ones. Oh, love the video. I would say upload it to, well, no, I don't think you can. Yes, you can actually, because it's only 36 seconds. You might be able to get away with it. Upload it to YouTube and start a channel. All the best, bro. So yeah, it's cute. It's really nice. I was too caught up by the song and trying to stop myself from crying to actually notice his build. Okay, there we go. So he has a portable monitor. He has okay, these are one of those keyboards. There's a couple of them, and I've seen them around before. They're actually really, really nice. And they just kind of look retro. And then he has a nice Lian Li 011 Mini. And with the, you can tell it's an 011 Mini because the 011 Mini is more of a box type build. But it can fit a gigantic graphics card. It can fit the 4090. So congrats to him. That's a really nice build. And I like the way his cables are set up. That's really nice. All righty. Ooh. You know we like it when somebody says they're desperate. Purple Straight says, in desperate need of help recovering Xbox account. Oh, you know we love helping people that are in need. You know that's what we do here. Hello, Redditors. Hi, how's it going? I'm in need of some serious help. Well, that's what we do. Yesterday, while using YouTube on my Xbox Series X, I was randomly signed out and a prompt stating, let's make sure your security info is up to date. Typically, I skip through this and go about my day. However, it did not allow me this time. I was forced to either have a code sent to a phone number or try to recover online. I no longer have the phone number, so I tried to recover online. However, I am having a major problem because I didn't frequently use my email. The reason this is a problem is because when answering the recovery questions, I was able to answer every question except one, which was, who had I recently sent emails to? Now, since I rarely use email, I don't know that off the top of my head, and it is a Microsoft email that's also tied to my account. So I can't sign into that as an email to look. So as I'm forced down the same recovery path, I have provided every piece of accurate information regarding account history, credit cards on file, console ID, only to receive an unable to verify email. I can't request any more callbacks for daily limit despite today being the next business day. I am truly stuck. I paid for Game Pass Ultimate, which I can't use, can't play any of my games I paid for, and also some games like Apex Legends I have 5,000 plus hours amongst other things that are valuable to me. If anyone can help, that would mean a lot. Well, no one can help with this, sir. This at this point, you have to call Microsoft. At this point, unfortunately, no one can really help here. You would need to contact Microsoft and have them do a verification with you to help you verify your account. I know they typically allow you to verify by other means. He plays Apex Legends, so he probably spends money by other means, like what was the amount of your last purchase, etc. Okay, so yeah, they can verify in more ways than one. So even though he doesn't have access to that particular email, they can help him get his account back. Alrighty. Fatal Error Stew. Okay, and this is the last one here. Fatal Error writes, whip rough case cut for the Ryzen 7 5700G with PSX PS1. Aww. Okay, that's cute. That's cute. I don't know if you can close it, but it's cute. Can he close it? Oh, he can close it. Wow, congratulations. That is nice. That's hot, but that is nice. I guess this is where he's going to have like small fans so that it can actually blow some air into the cooler, but it's still really sweet. Oh, hey, and he didn't even have the inputs on the back. That's pretty nice. Yo, I would travel with that. That's totally clean, but make sure it can get some air, man. Okay, yeah, he's gonna need some fans. Needs some small profile fans in the entrance and like a million holes. But outside of that, excellent build, bro. LOL. I like it. You know, I've never seen somebody try to build out a PS1 and put a 5600G in there, but that's guy's going to need some cooling, and there's no cooling here. So I would say he's going to need some, like in the front here, I would put a couple fans here. I'm not sure if a 92mm can fit. I doubt it, but try to put some type of a fan here so you can keep it cool, because if not, it's going to be a real bad time. Real bad time. The same bad time it would be if you try to run a PS1 game right now. So yeah, it's gonna be a bad time, bro. You need some cooling there, but still pretty sweet. Congratulations. All right, and group 7 done. I am so sorry. This has been a very tumultuous morning getting everything set up, but I'll upgrade my RAM. I'm gonna stop being cheap. I'm gonna go ahead and get some more RAM so we can wait on the RMA from Corsair so I can replace my RAM. So I'm sorry about that. I thought that the RAM sticks that I had would have been good enough to actually run, but it appears that there's no getting those guys back. They're just way too hot, and they're just, yeah, they're just bad. So the RMA is still going on, but I'll go ahead and get some more RAM to help out. So yeah, with that being said, if you like this video, go to the like button. If you really like it, I'm going to subscribe. I love you either way. Take care. All the best. And bye. I will see you tomorrow.